Humans are wired in fascinating, complex ways, with survival instinct guiding many of our most profound behavioral patterns. Often, our actions and reactions, especially under stress or in challenging environments, do not stem from a place of self-awareness. Instead, they arise from an innate drive to endure. Understanding this concept can provide crucial insight into human psychology and help us recognize why many of our seemingly irrational behaviors actually make perfect sense. From an evolutionary perspective, survival takes precedence over understanding ourselves. Self-awareness is a relatively recent development in our species' evolution, while survival has been embedded in us from the beginning. This means that our biological systems prioritize keeping us alive over helping us analyze our experiences. Place any person, especially a child, in a traumatic or dysfunctional environment, and their focus will not naturally fall on processing or comprehending what's happening. Instead, their priority will be on finding ways to endure, often through mechanisms that seem irrational or counterintuitive but are essential for self-preservation. Imagine a child growing up in a home with a violent or emotionally unstable parent. This child faces a situation that is unsafe and chaotic, one that offers little comfort or stability. Rather than fully grasping the dangers or processing the pain, the child instinctively shifts focus to survival. Their primary aim is to persist, not to analyze their distress or even seek immediate relief. Survival mechanisms come into play, protecting the child's psyche and helping them adapt to an environment that is otherwise unbearable. In this scenario, the child may employ a range of unconscious survival strategies to cope. One common response is to idealize the abusive or negligent parent, a mental shift that reduces cognitive dissonance and minimizes conflict. The child might convince themselves that their parents' actions are justified or deserved. Blaming oneself becomes a coping strategy, enabling the child to keep hope and connection alive, however toxic. Self-compassion is seen as a threat. Acknowledging pain too deeply could lead to despair if there is no escape. For a young child, the idea of deserving better or yearning for support that may never come can feel too risky. Instead, they develop resilience in response to a world that seems indifferent to their pain. Alternatively, survival might take shape as action-oriented responses. The child might overachieve in school, misbehave, or become fixated on sports, drugs, or other distractions that drown out internal struggles. By focusing on these external activities, they redirect attention away from the pain they're not equipped to handle. Such coping behaviors often persist into adulthood, with individuals struggling to sit with their feelings or confront deeper insecurities because their survival strategies have become ingrained patterns. For many of us, these survival strategies remain central well into adulthood. Feelings of external safety, like having a stable career, a home, supportive relationships, are often delayed for years or decades. Until these basic needs are met, the emotional security that allows for self-awareness remains secondary. As a result, we may only begin confronting the scars of past experiences much later in life, often after we feel a semblance of security in our external world. Consider the journey of someone who has spent years working toward a stable career and a safe home environment. By the time they reach their 30s, 40s, or even 50s, they may finally feel safe enough to process lingering inner turmoil. But that pain doesn't just disappear. It's been accumulating in silence, waiting for an outlet. As external pressures lessen, suppressed emotions surface, demanding acknowledgement. Often, the midlife crisis, a phenomenon widely observed across cultures, can be seen as the result of past trauma finally catching up with us. The relative stability in other areas of life allows unresolved feelings and memories to rise to the surface, triggering what can feel like an emotional upheaval. When repressed pain and unresolved trauma emerge, they often do so in unexpected ways. Someone might start feeling a deep sense of sadness, alienation, or even paranoia. They might engage in unusual behaviors, like writing unsolicited letters, creating conspiracy theories, or feeling persistently watched or criticized by others. Such reactions are seldom rooted in logic, but in long-suppressed emotions finding an expression. These manifestations often defy easy explanation, but they reveal how much our past experiences influence our present thoughts and actions. In these moments, it's not unusual to feel stranger inside at 40 than at 20, even if the source of distress lies closer to our early years. As adults, we may encounter symptoms we've never experienced before, not because they're new, but because we've become more sensitive to the underlying pain. Reaching a safe point in life doesn't erase the effects of early trauma. It merely provides the stability for that trauma to finally come to light. The brain, ever adaptable, seeks release for this accumulated distress. It might surface as heightened anxiety, depression, or an overwhelming sense of restlessness. The pent-up emotions, suppressed for years, now demand attention and healing. From overreactions to minor setbacks to seemingly baseless fears, the residue of past pain emerges, reminding us of our need for deeper healing. To continue to view more of these videos, kindly subscribe, like, comment, and share this video by clicking on the subscription button. Recognizing the origins of these survival mechanisms can be an empowering step in the healing process. It allows individuals to separate their behaviors from their identity, understanding that many of their struggles are responses to earlier trauma rather than reflections of who they truly are. The journey toward self-awareness and healing often begins when we feel secure enough to explore our pain without fearing its implications. Therapy provides a safe environment where individuals can unpack and process these survival-driven behaviors. In a supportive setting, they can revisit painful experiences with the understanding that they're no longer in a state of constant survival. Here, one can express grief, anger, and frustration that were once too dangerous to acknowledge. This therapeutic space offers a kind of emotional sanctuary where people can finally feel understood and validated. Healing from deeply rooted survival mechanisms is not easy, nor is it instant. It involves breaking down the protective walls we've built, piece by piece, and developing a new sense of self beyond survival. Over time, therapy can help individuals reconnect with their authentic selves, teaching them to replace survival tactics with healthier coping strategies. Learning self-compassion is a vital part of this process. In therapy, individuals often begin to understand that they deserved care and empathy from the beginning. This realization can lead to a long overdue reconciliation with themselves, allowing them to experience the compassion they never received. By integrating this newfound self-acceptance, they start to forge a healthier sense of identity and build more authentic relationships. The goal of therapy and personal growth is not merely to understand our survival mechanisms, but to transcend them. Recognizing that our past does not have to dictate our future enables us to break free from patterns that once protected us, but no longer serve us. We can begin to cultivate self-awareness, allowing us to make conscious choices rather than reacting automatically based on survival instincts. This newfound awareness also grants us empathy for others. By understanding that many behaviors are rooted in survival, we can approach relationships with greater patience and compassion. We become more forgiving, both toward ourselves and others, knowing that much of what we perceive as irrational or misguided behavior stems from a place of pain and a desire for safety. In conclusion, human behavior is intricately shaped by the interplay between survival and self-awareness. In times of trauma or instability, survival mechanisms shield us from overwhelming pain, helping us endure circumstances that would otherwise be unbearable. But as we grow and gain security, these mechanisms can become roadblocks to self-understanding, perpetuating old wounds and preventing us from fully experiencing life. Through self-reflection and therapy, we have the opportunity to break free from survival-driven patterns and begin healing. By understanding the roots of our behaviors, we can embrace a more compassionate and self-aware way of living. This journey toward healing is not linear, nor is it without setbacks, but with patience and support, we can build lives grounded in self-awareness rather than survival. This shift allows us to not only survive but to thrive, connecting more authentically with ourselves and others, and ultimately leading lives of greater emotional freedom. Do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you.